Leaders don't have a political will to borrow and pay debt. It doesn't work that way. They do that because it's a country and nothing will happen to us. Nobody can take the country to jail, you know. But we are suffering. We are plunging the country into what we don't want it to be.
And if we do have the reserves, shore up our reserves, we don't have to increase taxes?
Well, that's an interesting question. You know, Malti, no country ever developed on high taxes. Yes. No country ever. And, you know, I challenge anybody to prove us wrong. Nana Kwame Bediako wants a new economic order. And this order must be grounded in private enterprise, protected for national interest. Now, if you want to induce entrepreneurial hunger, you don't disturb the people with high taxes. You can increase the tax net. You formalize the economy to get more people paying taxes, but not increase of the tax itself.
Okay.
No country ever has developed on increased taxes. And governments and leaders who don't have ideas are the ones who increase taxes to solve problems. You have to go into real revenue generation. You have to get into investment and purchasing. Once you get out of the realm of reckless spending, these become apparent. They become glaringly obvious to you. And you allow the natural hierarchy of economic activity to prevail.
Right.
That's what it is.
Currency revitalization, since we're talking about, you know, reserves, debt, what's that looking like? Is it the one single currency for all African countries that a lot of, you know, people like Julius Malema and all the activists have been preaching? What is it?
Well, a single currency is not a bad idea, is it?
Well, you're the economist, so tell us.
But most importantly, Malti, you cannot think of a truly economically integrated Africa without cross-border payments. It's the only way.
Right. Industrication, industry and education. And we are live on GTV Ghana. We're streaming there, so you can leave your comments there. I'm just going to read a few of the questions here, or comments. Anointed Psalm joins us on Facebook, and he says, Hubert is well learned and knows what he's talking about. The new force in Idaswaba, okay. No insults, good presentation, brilliant solutions. This is what Ghana needs, not what the other parties are saying. Well, this is what Anointed Psalm is saying. Other questions. The new first movement is leading Ghana to a new, or comments I should say, to a new perspective. NDC and MPP both have had their term, and it's fair we all give ourselves the chance to change levels. Someone is asking how old you are. They think you look really young, and they are enjoying your economics. Okay, Adam Dogbe, the new first movement is leading Ghana to a new perspective. Thank you, Adam. Listen to him very well. New Force Hope is coming. Ebenezer Jachi joins in with that one. Greetings to my brother, Hubert. Okay, well, send us your thoughts and your comments if you have questions, because we've seen the questions on Twitter before the manifesto launch and even after the manifesto launch. So if there's anything that tickles you, send it out on 055-556-1034. Hubert, let me bring your attention to energy cities now in the 7 non-negotiables. What do you plan? What does a new force plan to do with this? I was saying earlier that there are still a lot of rural communities that need electrification.
Well, when you want to build industry, you have to consider energy. And in consideration of energy, you think of tariffs and how to create competition, how to make your tariffs competitive, because the investor is thinking of how to power the industries. And like we were saying initially about reserves, we already import more than $1 billion of gas oil every year. And we have oil that we can refine. So once you reverse this, you are already on the path of becoming an energy superpower. Apart from that, we are making a bold statement that Ghana has to get into nuclear energy.
Okay.
Because what Nana Kwame Bediako is thinking about is beyond the shores of this country. There are more than 50% of Africans, about 640 million people who don't have access to energy.
Yes.
And as bad as it is an opportunity for us. If we don't do this as a country and as a continent, we will forever be in the palms of, the imperialists.
And we're talking, the talk is about green energy now. What are we looking at? Solar, electric cars?
Well, you need a power mix.
Okay.
So you have to have a consolidated energy source. You have to have the hydro, which we have already, the thermal, which we have already, and we have to go big into solar farms. We have to go big into windmills. We have to go big into biomass because we produce a lot of waste and we are not using it for anything. But you need the nuclear energy. The initial cost is massive, but it has a half-life of 40 to 60 years. So the benefit is enormous. And that's what I keep saying, that we have to find the locus of the line of least resistance. What investments can we make as a country and receive the maximum return?
Okay.
Without the energy city, we can't power the 16 industries that we seek to build.
Amazing. Energy cities, windmills, we already have thermal power, and the big plan is for nuclear energy as well, is what the new force is saying. Let's go to King Kaf now. He's at the board, and let's let him bring your thoughts and your messages to us. Kaf, over to you. What are our people saying?
Alrighty. So the reasonable youth in this country, we are all voting for the new force because we have realized that the NPP and NDC have taken us for granted for so...
Finally, Galamsey, and I'm just going to serve you some of, this. I'm sure, probably if I didn't ask you, well, I need to give it a good shake. Ask you before you saw this, you'd be wondering what this is. And this is from months ago from one of our rivers.
Which river is this?
River Pra, I believe. Yes. I'm sure it's over a year. So that's yours, Hubert. What's the new forces' grand agenda for Galamsey? I mean, you've talked about reserves, mining, and doing it well. How are we turning back our water bodies into the clean, clear water that we know?
Multi, we don't want to deal with the symptoms. We want to go to the root. If people don't have alternative source of income or living, they will test economic activities, and they will find out that there is a lot of money in gold, and that's what they will do. It doesn't matter. They will do whatever it takes. They will risk their life because they are suffering. And so what you first have to do is to get the triangulation right. What I mean by the triangulation is the gold, the water bodies, and the farmlands. You have to create an economic harmony such that they all fall into a rhythm that brings everybody in tune, because it's already gone. People have already tested the activity. And like I was saying, you have to allow the natural hierarchy of economic activity to prevail. It's already going on. You have to clear the water, you have to invest in bioremediation, but you have to formalize the activity and regulate it. And lastly, if you don't have infinitesimal detail of where your lands are, where your reserves are, where the gold is, you cannot begin to think of clamping down Galamsey. Okay. And that's what the leaders don't know how to do.